Everyone is already laughing when you join in, half a second late. You shape your face to match the room while your eyes move from person to person, checking whether the joke was genuinely funny or whether laughter is simply the entry price. You lean closer, nod at the right moment, and add a small comment that keeps the conversation moving. Meanwhile, your hands are pressed together beneath the table because none of the words you're offering feel connected to where you actually are. Someone looks directly at you and asks what you think. Your smile brightens. Your mouth chooses the safest answer, and a faint buzzing starts before anyone can notice the difference. The honest reaction remains untouched somewhere further back. Your chest feels crowded. Every person in the room gives you another expression to read, another reaction to predict, and another version of yourself to adjust before the group can decide whether you fit comfortably enough to remain inside it. You keep performing presence through eye contact, helpful questions, and well-timed laughter. But beneath the effort it takes to look as though company is working exactly as intended, the part of you that actually wanted company grows increasingly quiet. Later, you replay the conversation and notice how often you spoke without revealing anything. You spent the evening distributing attention, making sure there was nothing awkward or uncertain for anyone else to reach. By 11:30, you're staring at the active group chat from bed, feeling left out of a conversation you already attended. It's a strangely efficient way for socializing to create loneliness without anything visibly going wrong. You consider sending something real, then imagine the pause or the possibility that your seriousness will feel a bit much, so you react to somebody else's message and remain safely present at the edge of the conversation. Solitude can feel safer because nobody is misreading you there. Alone, the distance between your inner life and the room is honest, rather than disguised by participation that looks like connection from the outside. A group can offer noise, warmth, and constant contact while leaving you more isolated than an empty flat. This isolation happens when you're surrounded by people while the real response inside you remains unspoken, unshared, and absent from the room. At work, you contribute enough in meetings to appear engaged, mirroring the room's confidence. You save your uncertainty for the trip home, where the questions you never asked finally become loud enough to hear. In relationships, you can sit among your partner's friends and charm everyone, only to leave feeling strangely absent. The version they enjoyed was built entirely from observation and adaptation, rather than from revealing the person who might need more time. Alone at home, you feel relief rather than emptiness. You let your face drop and your thoughts finish, finally stopping the constant check of whether each silence needs to be filled or every expression adjusted. In social gatherings, you become the listener or the person making sure nobody else is excluded. Your own exclusion remains invisible because you're standing right in the middle of everyone, and no one else recognizes the contradiction. The internal cost is constant translation. You soften opinions before they arrive and remove emotional weight so thoroughly that the group receives a polished outline instead of the fuller person who was hoping to belong. You may become skilled at belonging everywhere in a technical sense. You are invited, included, and remembered, while rarely experiencing the slower safety of saying something unedited and discovering that the room can remain intact around it. Calling yourself introverted or private captures part of the truth, but it also hides the sheer labor involved in managing everyone's access to you within a group. Reading 6 faces while arranging your own can make a birthday dinner feel like air traffic control with cake. You're monitoring the emotional runway for signs that one honest sentence might land badly. This intense attention to the group's shifts leaves very little attention available for noticing what you actually feel or want to say. People eventually know you as easy company, thoughtful, or calm. These compliments describe a successful performance, but they rarely reveal whether the person inside those qualities feels accompanied. For some, this begins in groups where belonging depended on reading the atmosphere and adapting to volatile adult reactions that could change the temperature of the room in seconds. A child in that setting learns to watch first and participate second. They notice which jokes are safe and which version of themselves allows everyone else to carry on without disruption. They become observant and socially useful, offering the right response before checking what their own response might be. Accurate adjustment earns them a place in the group, even when genuine expression feels like a threat to that place. Teachers and relatives reinforce this by praising them for being mature or easy. The child learns that belonging depends on remaining readable and useful without becoming fully known. Over time, these repetitions train the brain to turn attention outward. The adult enters every gathering braced to manage connection rather than experience it, leaving their private self waiting until the room is finally quiet. This is emotional inhibition. Feelings and impulses are held back because expression has become associated with disapproval, disruption, or losing one's secure place among other people. It works like using a microphone with the mute button permanently pressed. You follow every exchange and look involved, but the room never receives the part of you that would make the connection mutual. The silence is built into the equipment. Group settings activate this older rule, assigning you the job of monitoring the mood and keeping your unedited reactions off the table until the gathering is safely over. Even when current groups are safe enough for authenticity, the ingrained reflex to predict danger works faster than the slow evidence of safety. Group loneliness is what happens when connection becomes a management job for other people's comfort, leaving no space for you to arrive without translating yourself into the easiest version to receive. One day you might discover that the room can stay intact even when you stop translating.